So I just finished recording today's episode and I went to watch it back to go ahead and start editing it, and guess what? A Windows update has completely destroyed my microphone for this recording. I sound like a robot. Just listen to this. Listen to this, man.
Hey, what's up, guys? NGH here. Welcome back to the Arsenal Career Mode.
Can you believe it? So, for today's episode, it isn't the normal one with live commentary. I'm going to have to talk over the top, but I just wanted to say, do not download the latest Windows update. And if you do, just make sure you check your USB devices, especially microphones, because it turned me into that, which is really nice because I recorded for just over 2 hours and I can't use any of the audio. So, let's just jump straight into it. And by the way, I'm streaming tonight. We are going to be doing a live watch-along of the Arsenal game in the Europa League. So if you want to check that out, click the Facebook gaming link in the description. It will take you to my page. Please do drop a follow, leave a like, and we can watch the Arsenal game together. I'm predicting a lot of goals. But let me walk you through what happened in this episode. Apologies that it's going to be shorter than normal because the live com's gone. It is what it is. I'm just going to try and walk you through what happened as best as I can. So, because we had the 7-month injury to Aouar, I decided to throw Guendouzi in for a few games, but then I decided that maybe it's time to go back to doing what I was doing before with Saka and convert him to a central midfielder. He's a lot more creative than Guendouzi, and it makes sense to try and finish off what I started. So, Saka is now going to be converting to a central midfielder. It's going to take 22 weeks, I believe it was. I can't see it on screen right now. I think it's 22 weeks. You'll be able to see it in the background. And we will put him in the team instead of Aouar. Basically, it just means we're swapping him out with Guendouzi. Guendouzi's a great player, don't get me wrong, but Saka is the future, and I want to try him at central midfield again. And that does mean that Aubameyang will be playing through the middle and Sarr will be playing on the left wing for a little while until Aouar has come back from his injury. Then we went into our first game, which was Norwich at home in the FA Cup. I talked about how much I loved Norwich in the Premier League, even though they weren't great. They did concede a lot of goals, but I loved how they were true to themselves. They came up earlier than they expected. I believe their main guys and girls who run the club, they said that they should not have been in the Premier League by then. It came a bit earlier than they expected, and they just weren't prepared. And then I said how I would love for them to come back up and give it another go because they were cool to watch. They did have some really good games. You know, I remember they beat Man City. They played some really good football. And I just talked about how I would love to see them back. And it looks like they will bounce back. They're doing very well in the Championship at the moment. They are in that top 4, I believe, at the moment. But of course, it's an FA Cup game. It's early in the FA Cup, so it's just round 3. I decided to go ahead and use the match sim. Now, if I just go ahead and take a look at what happened in the game. So we scored first, and it was... Who scored it? It was... Nketiah, yes. Nketiah started this game because why would I start Aubameyang in the FA Cup against Norwich? I thought I'd give him a rest. So Nketiah scored, and then Norwich did actually equalise. Even though we were dominating this game, it was Thompson in the 26th minute, I think it was. Yes, 26 minutes in, and somehow out of nowhere, Norwich were back in the game. And then later on in the first half, 33 minutes in, guess who scored? At home, Sarr. On that left side, cutting in on the right foot, I believe. Let me just double check how he scored it. Yep, he was on the left side of the box. Who knows what foot he used to score, but he shot it down into the bottom right corner, I'm assuming, and made it 2-1. And then if I scroll further forward here, I'm so sorry I'm having to do this. What a shame. This really sucks. I think we made it 3-1 a little bit later. Yep, 59 minutes in, and Joe Willock got a goal. So surprisingly, the youngsters that came in, Willock and Nketiah, they did really well, and they had the highest ratings at the end of this game. I think it finished 3-1, did it not? Let me just double check. Did it finish 3-1 or was it 4-1? No, it was 3-1. And the best players in the game were Nketiah with a 9.3 rating and Willock with an 8.9. They were our best players, and it just made me feel so happy because I've got these young players that are going to be getting better and better, and they're already performing at a very good level. I decided to check the table to see how we were doing. We've all played 24 games, and I'm on 58 points. I'm 1 point behind Tottenham, and we're playing them soon in this episode. But I'm a massive 10 points behind Liverpool, which is not good at this stage in the Premier League. There's only 14 games to go, so it's very possible that it's already too late to mount a comeback. So at this point, I was saying how I think second place would be a really good finish for us. It's going to be us against Spurs. I think Chelsea are probably a little bit too far behind. And then we went into our next game. It was a home game against Brighton at the Emirates Stadium. And I actually said before the game began, this is an easy win, right? This should be fine. I think they were 14th, 15th. It's one of those games where you expect a comfortable win. But then I said, it could be one of those games, but knowing me, I'm probably going to struggle. Let's see how the game went, shall we? So we did have a very early chance, just 8 minutes in, and it fell to Thomas Partey, who, yep, you guessed it, put it wide. Did my usual, how? How did I miss that? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe I missed that. And then a few moments later, kind of out of nowhere, Alzate, one of my favourite Brighton players, very underrated player. He managed to score a goal for Brighton. It was a really lucky bit of control that he managed to get the ball down. And then the finish was brilliant past Leno. So keep your eye out on Alzate. I do like him a lot. And then I decided to try and win a header, which was clearly impossible to win. I missed it completely, and then Mateta goes through on goal and makes it 2-0 to Brighton. Let's just get a round of applause. We're 2-0 down within 22 minutes. Unbelievable. At this point, I thought I've got to change something. We're getting absolutely battered. Remember, recently I tried the 4-1-2-1-2. It worked really well. At this point, I wasn't sure who to put up front with Aubameyang. It was Sarr or it was Pepe. And I decided to go with Pepe because he's left-footed. He's played at striker before. So Sarr is going to be playing as a cam for the rest of this game. We'll see how he gets on. But then going into the second half, I just wanted to make things a little bit more spicy and give away a penalty. Really, really good timing. It was not a good challenge from Saliba at all. But the good news is, I guessed the right way, but it didn't even matter. They missed. He put it wide, and that gave us a massive opportunity here to, I don't know, ride my luck a little bit, get back in this game. We need 2 goals to get a draw, but can we actually win this game? I hit them on the break straight after. You love to see it when Pepe's just running beyond him and then bang, into the top corner. It's 2-1. The comeback is on, right? I hope? No. Because I just conceded an absolute worldie. I can't believe my luck, really. The one time I just needed to not concede any more goals. And then that, out of nowhere, just... oh, what a strike. You got to give it to, I think it's Tau. What a strike that is into the top corner. Leno with no chance, and now we're 3-1 down. I was just getting back into the game. So we were running out of time at this point. I just went all out attack, and I managed to get Pepe through on goal, and he made it 3-2. So we have a chance again. We can make the comeback. Pepe with both goals so far, well on his way to getting man of the match. All we need to do is get that point or somehow win the game. And then going into injury time, guys, just moments left on the clock, and guess who? Pepe puts Aubameyang through, and we equalise. It's 3-3 in the dying moments of the game. Brighton somehow have not come away with the win. We've managed to score back 3 goals in this game. Unbelievable. We deserve to get the point from this game. We were terrible defensively, but my God, Pepe, Aubameyang, absolute superstars up front. They were incredible in this game. So a point against Brighton when we should have lost, we'll take it, but it's not great. Thankfully, Liverpool got a draw against Southampton. You know, the team they always raid players from. They somehow didn't get a win, so we are still only 10 points behind them, and Spurs are yet to play. So it wasn't the worst time to drop points, but really, with Liverpool finally dropping some points, this was a chance for us to try and gain some on them, and unfortunately, I kind of threw it away. I bottled it against Brighton. So I mentioned Alzate being one of my favourite Brighton players, a very underrated player, central midfielder, can play as a right back. He's really quite a decent young player. And he scored against me, and I thought, I'll have him. Basically, that's what happened. I decided, just out of the blue, I'm going to sign him. We are now a midfielder down with Aouar getting injured. It's a player that I like. He's got his real face in the game, which is always cool. And it's a bit of a spontaneous decision. He was originally going to be loaned out. I think it was rejected. So we decided to go ahead and pay the release clause before he goes to a different team. And we're going to take him. We're going to go ahead and negotiate a deal with Alzate. I want him in the team. He might not be the best player, the highest rated player, but he's a young player that can be molded into whatever I want him to be. So we went ahead and signed him up on a decent contract. Let me go ahead and find out exactly what the contract was because I can't remember it off by heart. I think it was about 32k. Let me just double check. There you go, 32.5 thousand with 350k up front, I think it was. And we signed him just like that, out of nowhere. This is one of those signings where you just impress against the team and they go, yeah, we'll have you. So I signed him. He is now a part of the Arsenal Football Club. And now that Aouar's injured, we've brought someone else in that can give us some backup. I do love a good deadline day signing. After that, I just decided to count down the hours there. We weren't really going to be selling anyone else. We saw some other big deals, and Kunku went to Liverpool. I think I saw Pogba go to Barcelona, I think it was. Now, we did receive an offer for Medley at some point. I can't remember if it was in this part of the video. I'm so sorry, guys. This is really frustrating me. But Medley has been sold. He went to Aston Villa for about 1.5 million. I thought that's a really good deal for him. He might actually get some game time there. Later on in this video, we do also get an offer for John Jules, which we accept. But I don't know if that's going to go through because it was another team, I think in League One maybe. They might not be able to afford a good wage for him. But yeah, the window finished. We didn't sell anyone other than Medley. And of course, we brought in Alzate. And that was the transfer window complete. And then at this point, I couldn't remember who I was playing against. And then I saw it. It was Tottenham. We had Tottenham up next. Of course, they have just gone above us by a point because we drew. We were going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a point behind them. And with vengeance in mind because we lost to them at home earlier on in the season with some of the most unlucky things. I could not believe how we lost to them. So it was time to go to their home ground and destroy them, right? Well, let's find out what happened. The first thing I mentioned in this game was how amazing their stadium is. You know, I loved being able to take the piss out of White Hart Lane and call it, you know what. But now I can't say anything because their stadium is actually mental. What a stadium it is. And we started this game really brightly. We ran down the wing with Aubameyang, and Saka hit a very decent shot which went across the keeper just over the bar. Then a little bit later on, Saka played through Aubameyang. He was one-on-one with one defender. I decided to cut in on that right foot and try and finesse a shot into the top right corner, but Lloris decided that that wasn't a time they were going to concede, and he made the save. To be fair, you didn't really miss much in this first half. It wasn't great. We were definitely on top. We had more chances than Tottenham did. I believe Dele Alli went down at some point injured, but he never got subbed off, so he's still on the pitch. There was a bit of a scary moment in the 60th minute or so. Harry Kane getting through the defence, and we very, very almost conceded. Luckily, Leno was there to grab it, but it was one of those moments where I've got two defenders next to the attacker and I just could not switch between them. It locked onto Saliba when I was trying to clear it with Gabriel. Thankfully, we didn't concede because I would have been absolutely gutted. And then we finally got on another attack, and I noticed they had a left-back called Mendy. I wasn't sure which Mendy it was. Was it Ferland Mendy? Was it Benjamin Mendy? I think based off what you're seeing on screen right now, it's probably Benjamin Mendy because defensively, yeah, not great. He makes a massive mistake. I pass it to Aubameyang and the rest is history. It's 1-0 to the Arsenal. We are beating Tottenham in their own stadium. Doesn't that feel amazing? What a stupid goal to give away. The finish wasn't even great. I think Lloris probably could have done better, but of course, we'll take it. The 1-0 lead, that's what we were looking for. We deserved a goal. It hadn't come yet, but finally we got it. But I wasn't done there, guys. I wanted more. I still feel the pain of that loss at the Emirates towards the start of the season. Sarr picks up the ball in their box, and you know what's happening next. He shifts it onto his right, and he just finesses it into the top corner. It's another huge goal for Sarr. What a signing he's proved to be so far. He scores in the North London derby. He makes it 2-0 in the last few moments of the game, and Tottenham players are in the mud. They're laying on the floor, crying to their mums. They're going to be depressed about this for the rest of the season. You love to see it. We managed to beat Tottenham, guys. We got vengeance. We needed it as well, because now we are back into second place. And then we got the news that Sarr was ready to have his position changed from right mid to left wing. And actually, when we changed the position, he's now gone up to 82 rated. However, slight bad news, because now, of course, I'm converting him to a striker. It's going to take longer going from left wing to striker than left mid to striker. Little bit of a weird one. I don't know if that's a bug, but of course, you can see the stats that he will improve in. It's worth it. And also, it doesn't really matter because Aubameyang is still our main striker, and I think Sarr will be used on that left wing for now. But that was really cool to see that he is now 82 rated already. What a signing, man. He's going to be so good for us. I was talking about how that Lacazette's gone, but he hasn't been forgotten. He has enabled us to sign someone like Sarr and get him in the first team, and he will be an absolute god for us. I honestly believe that even though he's a winger, converting him to striker, he will become the new Aubameyang, maybe better. I don't know. And this is when we got the offer for John Jules, and I was talking about how I've got the Champions League game coming up very soon, and I wasn't going to tell you who it was. Should I tell you now? No, I'm going to leave it for the next episode. We've got a very tough draw in the Champions League. We've also got a game against Newcastle, I think it was, in the end, for the beginning of the next episode. So that's basically what happened. This video completely sucks compared to what it would have been, but I've done my best to try and recover it. Of course, the gameplay is still usable. It's just the audio. I'm really sorry, guys. Don't forget, I'm streaming a watch-along right now to the Arsenal versus Mold game. Hopefully, we score a few goals tonight. Click the link down below to come over to the stream. It's probably live right now. I think I'm going live at the same time as this video goes live, so I'm there right now. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another episode where you will find out who we're playing in the Champions League.